Alright, so I got the Cyber Monday box. I put all the lures in the tackle box. So we're just going to use, there we go, get that out of the sun. We're going to use all these cyber lures down the river and see what we can catch. I want to check the action on most of them. Mainly today we're going to be focusing on crankbaits. So we're going to work the crankbaits. And we're not touching nothing top water because it's winter time and they ain't gonna bite top water. So we'll focus on crankbaits and see if we can get a striper today. And the forecast for today is 50 degrees. So last week it was 18 and now today is 50 for some reason. And that's why I can't ice fish southern Illinois. So if you ask me to do an ice fishing video, I probably won't be able to do it. I am going to do one trip to ice fish up north, hopefully soon, so look forward to that. Alright guys, go down to the river. Alright guys, we made it down to the Mississippi River. We are going to be fishing on this corner right here. As you can see, there's a dam down there. The barges go in and out of there, so the water goes up and down. So you got to keep an eye on the water going up and down so you don't get your feet wet if you're on down the rocks. You see all these rocks right here. This is an inlet. The water treatment plant blows the water through this inlet. So late spring and through the summer we fish this whole inlet right here. And all the shad get stuck in there and the bass just go crazy in there. Catch a lot of stripers, largemouth, smallmouth, white bass. Like I said earlier, the list goes on. But we're gonna fish this main mouth. And we'll go a little bit in the inlet to try out some of our lures. But alright guys, so we're gonna fish right here at the mouth. There's two big drop-offs. There's one in front of me and there's another drop-off over there. I'm sorry if it's a little windy. It did feel warm in the sun, but it's a little chilly down here now. It is supposed to get up to 50 degrees today, but it's about 47 now. But we're gonna fish this crankbait first that we got from the cyber deal, and we're gonna just fish crankbaits today. Try to cover some water and see if the stripers or white bass are moving. We might catch a largemouth, I'm not sure. It's a little tricky here in the winter time, but we might be able to get them. This inlet right here, like I was talking about earlier, goes pretty far down. It goes a couple football fields down, and it gets shallow back in there. The water's pretty low today. It's probably about, I'd say, halfway. Sometimes it's so low you can walk all the way down to the bottom. So we're about halfway up, which is pretty good. I like the water about this level. Alright, so let's try out these lures. I didn't change the hooks yet, but they'll be alright for today. Chose this one, it's got a loud rattle. Visibility here is like 1.5 feet or 2 feet. Water's pretty clear. Not too bad. And make sure my drag's set, because I hook onto one of them stripers. Man, they pull good. Now when I say stripers, I mean freshwater stripers, so I'm not anywhere close to saltwater. Alright, so action on this lure looks pretty awesome. Cast pretty good. I'm only using a 6.5 foot medium heavy, so casting with the wind, it's pretty good. A lot of shad come through here. I know it's wintertime, so the shad are dying off and they're hiding, but there might be some shad still swimming around here. Sometimes you come over here in like the summertime, you'll see shad. Looks like the water's just boiling. There's shad everywhere. A lot of people come in here with their boat and they get shad for catfishing. Not a lot of people fish down here. It's kind of like a secret spot. Close look up of what we're using so far. Today we're going to be throwing this crankbait. It's pretty loud. It's kind of got like a lipless crankbait body with a little bill on it. Just like a narrow body crankbait. It's got a nice wobble to it. A lot of people feel it's a good lure to use when it's cold out. Judging by the action it's given in the water, it looks like it's a fish that's swimming fairly slow, tight wobble. So it looks like it's pretty good for this temperature. I think the only thing that's going to aggravate me is these hooks. But like I said, we'll change them. Now the bass in here, the largemouth bass and the smallmouth bass are crazy. You can catch like 10, 20 a day in here when the bite's pretty good. And the only problem is there are a lot of small bass in here. There's a few big ones. It's a big river, so you never know what you're gonna get. But occasionally you'll catch a couple ones that are 2-3 pounds. But the monsters in here are all the white bass and stripers. There's a big population of huge stripers and hybrids and white bass. There's some monsters in here. I've had them 12 to 14 pounds, just snap line like it's nothing. I think the biggest one we caught last year was a little bit over 7 pounds. He was a pretty good sized striper. Alright guys, we now are going to the crankbait right here. Hopefully this guy dives a good 6 feet so we can get down there and see if a fish hits it. I think the other one was not diving that far, maybe 3 feet. And there's a lot of deep pockets over here, and I don't think the fish are going to see that bait at 3 feet. I mean, they might see it, but it might not even come up to it. So let's just try to get this down further, get it more realistic, and see if we get a hit. I like this color of this crankbait. Looks pretty cool. Let's just see if it works. It's got good eyes on it. Some of the paint looks like it's got little chips already. I haven't even really used it. So the paint on these crankbaits probably won't hold up for a long time. But I think the deal is still pretty good. I mean, as long as I catch like 10 fish on this crankbait, I'll get my money's worth. I mean, it's only 63 cents a crankbait. So let's get it out there. Alright, so right off the bat, I'm feeling more vibration with this crankbait. It's definitely diving down a lot better. Casts a lot better than the other one. Yeah, I can feel me bumping off the rocks right there. So this one's definitely going to be a lot better to use than the other one. I will catch a fish with every single one of them lures this year. I feel like the crankbaits are going to be easy to catch. I'm going to have a hard time with the locust, the topwater, because I just don't have good luck on topwater lures at all. It's one of my goals this year is to catch a fish on topwater. So far I haven't seen any bait swimming by. No boils in the water. Probably been fishing for about 30 minutes or so. Still using the crankbait. I changed my mind. I'm definitely going to go fish the inlet. I'm going to go down there in about 30 minutes. And might as well try it. I mean, there could be bass sitting back in there. I never have any good luck down there in the wintertime, but who knows? They could be sitting down in there. You just never know. Every day is different. I might go down there and start catching them. So I'm going to give this spot right here a few more casts. I'll probably do about 10 or 20 more casts to make sure I fished it pretty good. And then I'm going to start going down that inlet, see if there's any bait down there, and see if I can catch a fish down there. I mean, the stripers will run all the way down that inlet. And there's some good water flow back in there, especially when they're blowing the water from the plant in here. What I'm also going to do, guys, when I come back here in the springtime, we'll bass fish, but I'm going to set up a catfishing rod just to put a bell on it and see if we can get a catfish while we're bass fishing. That'd be pretty cool. Alright guys, I wanted to show you something. Like, these rocks are real treacherous, so you can make the wrong step and one can move and bam, fall in the water, break your ankle. You want to be really careful when you walk on rocks like this. But yeah, we made it to the spot. Put down my delicious Coca-Cola. I'm not a big Coca-Cola drinker. However, I like it for a change. I usually just drink Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew is pretty much my favorite drink of all time. Alright, so we're going to fish right here because we've only moved down like 20 or 30 feet. But I want to try to get over here and that way I can reach to the other side and see what's going. Look at that. Look at that, guys. A little catfish. Oh, it's a little catfish. I don't know if you guys can see him. Huh. I've never seen a catfish on top of the water like that before. Unless they're eating. Yeah, look at him. He looks hurt. Little guy. Alright. That's weird. There we go, guys. Look at that. The catfish is still hanging around by us. He's like, hey, guys. I guess he just wants to be on YouTube. I don't know what's his problem, but I ain't gonna bother him. Alright, so we're still fishing the crankbait. Bait just keeps blowing up everywhere. I keep trying to fish this crankbait for a little while longer. I have a good feeling about this crankbait, so I want to try to catch a fish on it before I switch over to a different lure. I'll give this crankbait 10 more minutes. If it doesn't catch, then we're going to throw on that lipless crankbait and see if we can get a fish on a lipless, because it might be a lipless crankbait kind of day. And if you guys want to, let's name that catfish. He's a little too big for my fish tank. I only got a 10-gallon in my son's room. He'd be too big for it. Oh, guys, look at that. Look at that. We caught our first fish today. It's a shad. Got up in that shad pile. It's a good sized little shad. If I had another pole on me, I'd live wire it out there, but I'm not going to use that as bait today, strictly because I'm trying to fish lures. I like our catfish buddy. We found him. He's over here. Your catfish buddies. He's hanging out right there. Oh man, the fish are jumping like crazy over there, eating away them shad. Alright guys, let's capitalize on it. Let's give it another 30 minutes or so. I wish I could stay longer, but I gotta go to work soon. Let's try to catch some fish. But yeah, you see right down there where it starts to get real narrow right there, and then it's like right here, it's like 30-40 feet down. The channel gets a little bit narrow right there, and then it opens up a little bit. That actually, when it's real low, is a strong current right there in the middle. And stripers love hanging out by that little point right there where all that water starts flowing. Especially when the plant blows all the water in here. It's a great spot. I mean, you can't really judge the spot today because it's cold out, and I really haven't seen much action over here today. But we lost that fish, snapped me off. It's probably like a walleye or something with teeth. But we are seeing a lot of bait being eaten right now, so we'll figure it out. We'll come back here next week, and we'll try to get a striper. I mean, I might even throw a swim bait on there. It's probably what I should do. I should probably tie a swim bait on and get rid of this lipless crankbait. Just see if we can catch a striper. I know I wanted to use the other lures, but kind of want to get that done. So let's tie on that swim bait just to see if something hits it, because their fish are just jumping everywhere right now. Let's get it on. Alright, so for the last half an hour, I'm gonna throw this swim bait. We've had a lot of luck in the past with it. It's a good swim bait. I know all I wanted to use was the Cyber Monday lures today, but I want to see what's eating the bait. So see if we can get a striper or a white bass, because I think they definitely got to be some kind of big game fish, because those baits are getting eaten pretty good right now. I'm just way too curious to see what they are. And they are tearing up the shad. And I don't want to miss out on a nice 5 to 10 pound striper or a big old white bass. Make sure my drag is good. Plus now I can cast pretty far. I can get way out there. We're going to cover a lot of water with this. Oh yeah, I just got way on the other side. Oh yeah, I can feel it going through the bait. Let it go right under the bait. Once you start feeling that hitting that bait, you want to let it go down another 6 inches or so to a foot. Usually works pretty good. They'll be sitting under there eating the bait. A lot of people, they'll try to fish and just rip it through the bait, which it works. But I feel if you go right underneath the bait, get more strikes. Alright guys, we're still fishing the swim bait. It's been about 10 minutes or so. Seeing a lot of jumping over here. I feel like we're going to get our turn. We're going to get a bass soon. Any minute now. I went to stop the film and make another file. That way it's easier to edit. And I seen one come up out of the water. You can see that silver and that black jagged line, so it was either a striper or a white bass. It's just nuts out there. Whoa, that was a big one right there, guys. That was a big one. Man, I can't believe they're this active in the middle of the late fall, almost winter time. Still feeling the bait. Still seeing splashes, and once in a while I see a couple jump out of the water. I mean, what would you guys throw? In the comments below, what would you guys throw for conditions like today? I mean, what would your bait of choice be to try to catch some of these white bass and stripers? I mean, it's been pretty cold here, so it's not like you can throw top water and have them hit it. Or I think for my bait of choice would probably be this swim bait, and maybe like a zoom fluke or a zoom paddle tail. I possibly would throw a spinner bait really slow, reel it in really slow. So I'm probably definitely gonna have to pick up some spinner baits this year, get a couple spinner baits, because I don't think I have but one of them left. Maybe, I'm not even sure if I have one. I think I lost that one last year. I mainly fish crankbaits and soft plastics all year long, so. Oh. That was either a bite on my tail or I hit the bait ball. The old Mississippi. I figured I'd record on the way out. My battery's still going. I'll just redo my outro. Thanks for watching, guys. Sorry I couldn't catch a fish today. Well, I caught some shad, but well, that's bait. Make sure you comment below what you would have used today to catch some white bass and stripers. I mean, I tried everything they like, so like I said earlier, it's like buying a scratch ticket. There's thousands and thousands of scratch tickets out there. Like, there's thousands and thousands of shad in the water. Just gotta get that lucky ticket, like you get that lucky bait and then hit it. Sometimes in those conditions a jerk bait works pretty good. So maybe next time I'll throw a jerk bait and something with erratic action. And maybe I'll throw a spinner bait, something with a lot of shine. But it's just hard to throw lures like that in the wintertime. But yeah, comment below what you guys would have used. As always, thank you for watching. And don't worry about those gunshots. I'm alive. The gun range is right there, and the police and army qualify right there. So I'm actually on an army base right now. So I'm gonna stop filming and put my camera away so I don't get in trouble for filming so close to them. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Got a lot of cool videos coming out for you guys. Springtime's gonna be crazy. We're gonna be catching big fish and got tons of places to go to. So also want to say welcome to the new subscribers and thank you for joining, and feel very blessed to hit 50 subscribers. So I think we're at 51 right now. So I made my goal of 50 by end of January, so it's not January yet. So my new goal is, of course, to hit 100. I want to hit 100 by the springtime, so that'd be nice. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on another video.